we see here the Down survey map. This is the map that Connell's surveyors drew up. It was to pay the adventurers, the people who financed the Model Army. And here we see Cortina Moore, and there where I say Cortalahan, Cortina Lahawan, the same thing, Perton Boris. And some of the town's lands have still held their name, like Corralee, Killamay, Blackhair, Drumgill, Drumtarsna, Aughvoolashane, Uruslee itself, Kappa Poola Nellalog, which I surmise is Capanilli, Corralee, Corracail. An interesting one here is Cara Warrish, which would be that area where the Bishop Shanahan monument is. It interests me at the top where Roisin should be. The townland there is marked as Corr Valley. So, but it's I suppose there was less town's lands, and in later years when we had the likes of Lord Portant, Nicholas Green, Silver Oliver, and these fellows who owned Borrisoleigh, the parish of Borrisoleigh, they actually owned it, full town's lands. They were writing about, you know, like we're only of moderate quality, you know. But like I say, it was the people who paid a smaller amount of money to support the Model Army, for the raising of the Model Army in England, Garlandy, Borrisoleigh. But as I said, this territory had much down the mountain, at least one third part. So they said a third of Borrisoleigh was mountain. The rest arable and pasture, much interlaced with woods, but few timber. So it was whitethorns and elders and that kind of thing. And the arable lands of the said territory yields only small oats. So we're badly needed through bags of 10, 10, 20. Except 3 plough lands. A plough land contained 500 acres. Except 3 plough lands in Borris, 1 plough land in Rathmai, and Barracora, which are good arable land. Barracora, which would be between the Rag and the Cross of Ballycahill, for some reason that was part of Borrisoleigh, even though the good 3-4 miles separated the places. So when you talk about accuracy of maps, here's the model map, and on the left is the map that was done in 1640, and you can see in outline there's not much difference, there's not. So it just, I suppose, wants to show the expertise, and you know, this was all done with chains and measures and all of that. But this was done by satellite and aerial pictures. An interesting one here, Gorton of Bowlby, think of this. Gorton of Bowley would be the proper name, and Bowley would be a dairy. So the garden of the dairy. Aughvoolashane would be the dairy for John's cows, you know, Shay and Sean, you know. It's amazing, there's loganum.ie, you can log into that and to give you quite all over the country, to give you the meanings of the different town lands. Before and after Cromwell, Coola Taggart, Daniel Ryan. Strangely enough, it was the only Protestant he was in the ownership of Bandy Borrisoleigh prior to the Cromwellian resettlement. Richard Burke, Walter Burke. You can see that had a generous amount of Burkes. Now, there was also a few others, about a few Shanahans. You see, Thomas Brereton, these were all Protestants. Thomas Brereton, Thomas Wise, Acorn, Jones, Brereton again, John Osler, Henry Raper, and Owen Silver. And I suppose into recent records, only 2 of those have survived. And they would be the Silver family. Silver Oliver owned that area. Going into the 1980s, you know, the land war periods in Currabaha, in that area, and John Oswald, Oswald came directly with Cromwell, and would say that the original Oswald was part of the Cromwellian army, an officer in the Cromwellian army, and we talk about 500 acres in a ploughland. The Oswald estate in Temporary silver mines in Morrisonlee contained over 7,000 acres. Catholic inhabitants were sworn oath to allegiance in 1775. So let's not kind of looking at too badly. We had the Catholic Relief Acts. See, everything that happened in Ireland was an extension of what happened in England. And this depended on a change in the throne, or you know, who was sitting on the throne, or the monarch was, and a number of things like the penal laws. They applied to the Catholic population. They also applied to the Presbyterians in Ulster as well. That's something that's forgotten. So there was a movement. You know, lads like Edmund Burke and these fellas, like the campaign tirelessly in the House of Parliament for the relaxation of these penal laws. And this is where the 40 shilling freeholders came in. If they had a valuation of 40 shillings, they were entitled to a vote. So it was only people who were ratepayers as such, people of property could vote. You know, a lot of this was done out of necessity, it was, you know, to hold on to their land. We see Walter Burke, Richard Burke, Michael Burke. Then we see the Coots, but if you just say the Burkes, they appeared prominently on the previous list, going back to the Cromwellian times. And Cromwellian head up to Connacht, so the Burkes went to Connacht. So how did they end up back in Borrisoleigh? And this was the Catholic Relief Act. They could come and regain their land, provided they took the oath of allegiance. So that is the story behind that. So my own, but I live in Castleportal, which on the old map would have been Graig, the 1640 map, the Cromwell's fellas drew up. Conor Shannon owned the Rath Michael did, and it says, see what it says about him. He was an Irish papist, he was, and half a quarter and 2 quarters of a ploughland wanted a 6th part of a quarter. So this is how it's measured out, you know, and that gives them the number of acres, actually 200 acres, and it gives them the value of that land. It was 25 pounds, and the land profitable quality, and then what is all together, you know. And it gives the boundaries as well. It does this with every town, with every townland, with every order, right? So the said lands are bounded on the east with the lands of Fishmine in the parish of Kilfordmowan, in the barony of Ailey O'Gorty, and in the south and west with the river Cromogue, on the north with the lands of Borris in this parish. So that gives the boundaries of Rathmine. And the said Conor Shannon, proprietor of the said 2 quarters and a half, right? He got by descent from his ancestors. And they always emphasise, you know, that there was no documentation to prove this. This was stuff that was handed on locally. And on the bottom then you can see the total acreage of Borrisoleigh, and 1,690 acres was unprofitable. And the value of all the land was £393, £14 shillings and 0 pennies. Tubber, Drogheen and the water tower. The water tower was built in 1971. Up to that point, the water from Borrisoleigh, it was piped down from above Ballarone up there, and there was a fountain then outside where John Welsh had a shop there. in that area. People came down to the sweep cans and the buckets for the water. It was a big job in 1971, it was, to build the water tower and the pump house out in Cooltown. John Malloy, Lord Mercer, John came with that water scheme from Galway, you know, John wanted the lovely gentleman from the town of Headford. That's where most of these fellas came from. They came in the left, but John stayed in it. He was, Lord Mercer was a great addition to Borris, one of the characters. Tubal Drogheen, you see what will be Burks and Knockanavan, Grass and Knockanavan, and the tub or the well was in that general area. Near where the water tower is now. Board long forgotten. An area view of the water tower today. You can see the outline of it, the steps leading out to the pump house. A huge project at the time. But sadly now fallen into disuse and disrepair. Glass tile, what does glass tile mean? Green wood. Maybe not either. If it was green wood, it probably would say tile glass. Glass could equally mean a stream. Tile could equally mean a wood or a church. Who knows? But it is pretty well. I'm sure nobody knows about today. But anybody who needs Borris need to go across the palace, past Glass Tile, because it will be at the foot of what we call a dairy hill. The River Glosher passes under the road, and after that, the square there, and that's how it is today. There's no wood there today. The actual shed that's there, in 1840, a shed stood on that exact location. When you superimpose the maps, it shows that. So Glass Tile, well and truly forgotten now, but it's documented. The men from the West, just go back there, we see the ruins of houses there. And that was part of Coops of Liss, Coops of Fort William, and that's where their herdsman lived. There it is today, it is in ruin. And we see here a gravestone in Eileen to Back Dyke. People always locally refer to it as Back Deacon. And Deacon and his brother Jimmy and his sister and his mother, they came to Borrisoleigh. I think it was around maybe 1896. And he came as a herald to Coops. And the family from a place called, near Keeju in Roscommon, so they came a long journey to it. And the story that I would have heard was that Dignam, he was a great man around cattle, but his expertise were in sheep. He was a good man around sheep, he was. And he was well respected. In my younger days I spoke to fellows who, older men, they could walk their coast, and they spoke highly of Dignam. And his brother Jimmy went to the head of state in Tullymile, and he worked there. Dignam had no family, but Jimmy had a family, and the Dignams are still, or the Dignams or Dignams are still over there in Tullymile today. The water lane I spoke about before, would take up to Bortalahan. Even at the driest day of the year, it is still watery. Across from it, you see the gate going into Coops, a field of Coops. Amazing the workmanship when you study that, making it forward, done with rivets, from Poplar at that time. The caps are very interesting in that they're made out of cut limestone. So a huge effort, huge workmanship goes into that. Mona, Madra, Loch. And I suppose Mona is turf, Madra is dog, and Loch is Loch. Mona, Madra. The Bog of the Wolves, I think it would probably translate as. Now, I never heard of Mona Madra Loch until I saw the surveyor's map of 1840. And then I looked up the newspaper archives and I could find 3 entries, not for Mona Madra Loch, but for Mona Madra Hill, which I think would be the same vicinity. On the 13th in September of 1913, a huge army manoeuvre involving 2 armies, a white and a brown army made up of 700 troops each. They had this, as if it were a mock battle. The purpose was to take the pass, to capture the pass at Latra, Sally, what's the name? Sally, whatever it is anyway. The description on the papers, and like the people, must have been an absolute alright, but the fellow who was reporting for the paper certainly was, because people see the airplanes for the first time, you know, and motorcycles, you know, motorcycles would have been known about, but like, this was a big exercise. We done over 3 days of it, and the cannons of the artillery of the Brown Army, they were dug in on Mona Madra Hill, so that's where I got that. And the White Army, 7,000, they stayed in the village in that area of Palace House. That would be, we say, Tom Ryan Palace, we say that area. That house, I suppose the officers stayed in the house, and the poor privates stayed in different camps. So amazing, like, you know, it's talking about the airplanes flying at different altitudes, and they're coming low over the town of Nina. So it was, you know, a huge event, I'm sure, at the time. You could imagine 14,000 troops landed down in a small area like that. Today there's no lock there or stuff, but I'd imagine if you had to go up during that long wet winter, that we'd have found them. But where is it? It's on the road, on the laneway, that will take you into Portnabout, into Big Bucks, or Tom Ryan Springfield, into that area. And you know, you see the wood, you see the tower then is in the background, Lanigan's Tower. So that's where